But we don't have a lot of personal pronouns. We have one first person pronoun, both singular and plural. We have technically 1.5 second person pronoun, because we have one for singular and one for plural, but in formal context you use the plural one when you're talking to one person. So it's like you have one of each, but one of them can be used for both. And 2 pronouns for third person, and that's it. That's it for personal pronoun. No, there's no accepted, like, there's no widely accepted gender-neutral pronoun in French. Because you have to remember, inanimate objects are gendered in French. Nothing is generally agreed in French. That's actually true. There's so many things where, like, the rules for writing words are, like, incredibly archaic and don't make any sense, and so they've been reformed, and so both forms are acceptable. You write 10 more letters than what you say in French. That's true. But the way I like to think about it is, once you understand the basic rules of pronunciation, if you see a word written in French, it's really easy to pronounce it. If you hear a word, it's impossible to know how it's written. Because there's like 83 different ways of writing the same sound, but there's only one way to pronounce a given, like, written word. In other words, French is easy to learn if you learn it through reading, and hard to learn if you learn it through talking. One of the things I struggled, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, pretty much everyone whose second language is English, some of the stuff they struggle with the most is pronouncing some of the fucking weird ass pronunciation rules in English. Like when words end in O-U-G-H. Like, it's just like, you just have to learn them one by one. But like, in French, pretty much all you need to know is how to pronounce each vowel and know the ways in which 2 different vowels put together change the sound, right? So for example, right, you have just the vowels themselves. A, E, I, O, U. I'm not gonna include Y, because it's pretty much always pronounced the same as I. But then, if you have AU, it's pronounced the same as O. If you have EAU, it's pronounced the same as O. And you have AI, which is E or A, depending on what the letter after it is. You have accent aigu, which is A as well. You have accent grave, which is E, right? So the A can be either of these, depending on the next letter. I don't remember all the rules for the next letter though. Then you have when there's an N after these, you just say the letter but like nasally. So this is un. So is this. This is un. This is on. This is un. Yeah, you also have ou. The Quebecois accent is killing me. I can do them in with a French accent if you want. A, E, I, O, U, E, on, E, O, U. What other like sounds can there be? Is that it? I think that's it. That's probably not it. There's probably some I'm missing. Yeah, that's true. There's Can you compare the 2 accents? It's hard just with the vowels. It's a lot easier with like whole words. But this is generally a in Quebec and a in France. O, yeah, kind of similar. Yeah, it's hard with just the vowels, because it's going to depend on the word. I miss toi, true. Toi. Main difference is and I guess. Like, in Quebec, this is ein. In France, it's ein. eh, 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 eh. I don't know. Is the French you teach in grade school in Canada France French or Quebec French? You don't learn Quebec French in school. You learn standard French, which is neither Quebec French nor France French. It's just French. But you learn it from people that speak with a Quebec accent. So, but like, most people in Quebec are able to speak in a way that they will be understood by people from France. Even without getting rid of the Quebec accent. I despise the French language because of the subjunctive. Half the time it doesn't make sense where I use it or not, and the forms are stupid. That's fair, honestly. Are you telling me there's worse versions of French? I mean, the worst version of French is probably ch'ti, which is what I don't remember if it's southern France or northern France. I don't know much about France, like French dialects in France. Northern, maybe. That's probably the worst French. Then it's Quebec French, and then it's normal French. Acadien is probably like about as bad as Quebec French, maybe a little bit less bad. You forgot all of Africa. African French is a lot closer to France French than Quebec French is. Like, to me, African French and France French sound incredibly similar. Some of the consonants are like pronounced a little differently, but the way the words are pronounced as a whole are very similar. Like the R's sound different generally, but that's mostly it, honestly. You know French too? I mean, yeah, French is my first language, so I fucking hope so. The Jeff is a lot better at stalling than he thinks he is. Here's the thing, okay? I'm not good at stalling when I don't have something I want to be doing. But as soon as there's something I want to be doing, my brain starts actively looking for ways to not do it. In other words, I suck at stalling when I'm just doing dailies, but I'm really good at stalling during Archon quests. But I'm okay with that, honestly. Like, I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are as well. Left for half an hour and he's still here? Yeah, I am. Not what I'm came for, but I'm enjoying it. I'm glad you are. And honestly, like, this is also a good opportunity to actually listen to the new Natlan tracks in a way that feels natural, which I really like. Yep, teach me French. I mean, what do you want me to teach you? Is there a phrase you wanna learn how to say? Is there anything? Slangs and curse words. The thing is, it's hard for me to think of slang because, like, in my mind, slang is not something I use intentionally. It's just part of my vocabulary, and I have to like actively think about it to know if a word is slang or standard. But like, just it's telling me, like, teach me some slang. I don't fucking know. Yeah, cursing in Quebec is very straightforward. You just use a lot of Christian words, basically. A lot of mispronounced Christian words, pretty much. Quebec has a long history of with Christianity, and it developed into blasphemy being the most popular way to swear because of pretty much just a deep hatred of the church. But yeah, so pretty much all of our swear words are just Christian related words that are pronounced intentionally wrong. So for example, one of the most popular swear words is Chris, which is a mispronunciation of Christ. There's Calice, which is a mispronunciation of chalice. Tabarnak. Tabernacle. Esti. Which, I don't know the word for it in English, but it's the communal bread. And variations on those words can be used to express different things. So for example, décalice and décris, which is effectively, like, if you, they is like un, in English. It's like it's the prefix for not for undoing something, right? So like dead, undead, right? Décris and décallis effectively just means like go the fuck away, fuck off. Yeah, décris is kind of it conveys a certain sense of superiority. It's like you're an insect, like fuck off. Whereas décallis conveys anger, like I hate you, fuck off. So there's a lot of nuance in Quebec swearing, and it's hard to explain all of it. But yeah, like deep anger and frustration is often expressed by chaining swear words together. It's called the tabarnak. And the more swear words you have, the angrier you are. And it always has to finish with tabarnak. It doesn't actually, but most of the time it does. But if you see someone from Quebec saying it's Chris de Callis de tabarnak, run. It's time to pretend you didn't hear anything and go away. Is there an equivalent to burglary in Quebecois? Fun word to say. I don't know. Tabarnak is really fun to say. That's a problem, though. No, but I assume that the reason those became swear words is half because they're blasphematory, and half because the sounds they use are very aggressive, right? There's a lot of and those are effective sounds at conveying anger, right? It's very like yeah, it's very sharp and yeah. Kiss the Callis the tabarnak. It's just satisfying to say, you know.